Heyo, what's really going on, party people? Oh man. Hopefully it's freaking let's see here. It is Taco Tuesday. Let's see. We gotta get out our yeah. So we're over here on freaking YouTube getting ready to freaking planning out my morning. What we already did is normally we normally we would have freaking already been on our shit, but I had a doctor's appointment this morning. Nothing major. I just had a checkup, and basically they were just telling me, hey, you're doing okay. You don't have cancer. You don't have diabetes. You don't have the Rona. You freaking. I'm glad you lost some weight, and fucking don't freaking. You should quit that dip and stop and you don't drink that much alcohol. So it was actually pretty good. Oh wait, hold on. Let me do the intro. Welcome to the show. This is the Morning Wake and Bake. My name is Slizwack from Go Here Smoke This. This very morning, the topic of conversation, you might ask. What is the topic of conversation? And you know what? This came up last night, and came up with a group of friends online, and I was thinking about it last night. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments. Name a charity that you would never support. And what I mean is, I'm not here to bash people. Charities, freaking if you got a 501c3 status, I have to say whatever you're doing is good. That's what I'm going to go with. But over the years, there's been a lot of quote unquote charities where the money just disappeared, and that's for me is one of a red flag. Absolutely, an easy reason to not support to just not do it. I'm not saying you're going on an active campaign talking mad shit about them. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, if I gave you $100, you wouldn't give 50 of it to them. It just depends on what you're into, I guess. And I'm not talking about things that you would never support. I'm not talking about I would never support a let's stop demolition derbies. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that I support. So that it's not a question if I would ever give to that charity. But whatever, it is what it is. Like I was talking about earlier, I've got my Jack Herrera signature hash pipe here. I've actually got I've got a little hash patty in there, if you can see. Boop 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 boop. I probably should take a picture of this before I smoke it. Let me do that right quick. There we go. All right. But yeah. And I'll upload that frick into the thing so you guys can see it. But yeah, this is my signature Jack Herrera hash pipe, and I've had this hash pipe probably longer than most of you have been smoking weed. I've probably had this shit since 2011, 2012 or so. So if you're just joining us this morning, drop what you're smoking down in the comments. Okay, yeah. If you're, like I said, if you're just joining us, drop what you're smoking down in the comments. After transferring over to this new format, we're trying to get all the kinks worked out. I think we got all the kinks worked out. Probably not if I'm in charge of it. But we're just freaking I do want to tell you what the topic of our podcast is going to be. Uh, we're going to do our podcast. It normally comes out Thursday. Our podcast is going to be about how to store your weed. I want you guys to stop by, weigh in. And one of the reasons why that is because now there's a lot of people that are actually freaking growing outdoors, and you don't want to wait until you harvest to figure out what you need. And one of the things that the things that I learned freaking early on in the weed business is that, hey, plan ahead. Because come October here, oh, that's smooth. Whoo, that's fucking smooth. And it's so smooth, I didn't realize how much I was getting. You guys probably heard that freaking whistling through there and were just like, the fuck is going on there? What is he doing? And you're probably thinking, I know he's got motherfucking baby lungs, so the fuck. But anyway, gonna freaking gonna get some shit going on today. Like I said, we already watered plants. We got those. Got the plants watered. Got the nutrients, or we got the indoor plants watered. Freaking got the nutrients situated. Freaking for the indoor plants, we actually went ahead and got we've watered most of our indoor plants, so our mothers and our freaking, and they're not even, I don't even know if they're really going to be mothers or not, simply because of the room issue. And when I say the room issue, I have 5 plants outdoors, excuse me, and I have 8 plants indoors. And that's not including the clones that I just cut. So, excuse me, those clones are probably going to be, I think they're coming up on the 10-day mark. They're just starting to poke out of the old of the rapid rooters, because I actually use rapid rooters. And one of the reasons why I do, if you're just starting out, if you're just getting it going, rapid rooters is probably the second highest propagation rate that I've experienced. For me, it's probably the second highest propagation rate, only because the I think it's, and rapid rooters aren't really anything except for a sponge, and they're just a little bitty sponge. And hold on just a second. But yeah, so rapid rooters, they have literally one of the highest success rates. And when I say one of the highest success rates, the only thing that really beats them out is my easy cloner. And my easy cloner only beats them out because I can get, I think one of the reasons why it beats them out is it's totally psychological. And the psychological thing is that you can literally see the roots. You can see the roots. You can look at my easy cloner. Most easy cloners are black, but my easy cloner is a display model, so it's actually clear. So my roots, I can actually see them sprouting, and I want to make a time lapse video where you can see those roots sprouting. But because of space issues right now, I actually am not running my easy cloner. I've got probably, it's a brick of 12, so I've probably got 12 24 clones going. Actually, it's because I know we didn't fill up the whole tray, -2. There's 2 that freaking died. So that about between 18 to 20 clones, somewhere around there. And I think actually those clones died simply because I was fucking with them and pulling them out. Because that's the thing, you gotta leave them, you gotta leave those fuckers alone. Stop touching them. But yeah, let's hit up on some of this hash. So I'll be doing that today. Oh well, I'm gonna check them. I actually treated. I do me personally. I have been doing a weekly PM treatment. And I'm doing that weekly PM treatment only because in the last, I don't know, and it happens a lot during the summertime, well, not during the summertime, but as it comes to fall where it warms up during the day. And because I have a swamp cooler, I don't have an air conditioner. And what ends up happening is with that swamp cooler, I'm pumping mad moisture into the air. And because that air is getting intaked into my tent, my plants have a tendency to get PM, freaking, or powdery mildew a lot more often than if they weren't. Simply because I'm using a swamp cooler and I'm pumping so much moisture into the air. So, over the course of a day, and they're sucking all that moisturized air in there. Shit. You can't, I've had it. And it don't get me wrong. It's not, there's a steady, my exhaust fan, actually, my exhaust fan is because I have 2 tents in there. Excuse me. In my indoor grow, I actually have 2 tents in there. There's a 5x5 with 3 plants in there. And I actually had to take the 4th plant and put it in a closet where I'd actually put my easy cloner because I had to buy a pedestal fan to put in there to circulate the air around, simply because I'm pumping so much moisture into the air that it's so hard to control the freaking humidity in there. So the pedestal fan will buy me actually a little bit more time, as far as, keeping PM off of there. So what I end up doing is I have an organic thing that I've been using. And it's actually, oh shit, I can't even think of what it's called. But I'll actually, after I freaking give me a day or so, and I'll have the link down in the comments. Let me see here. I'll have a link to it down in the comments. But yeah, when I freaking link that shit up, for me, it's got to be organic, only because I spray those probably once a week. You know what I'm saying? And it's, if I don't, when I'm running my swamp cooler, if I don't see PM, I spray it just as a preventative, because I know that that it's probably there. I just don't see it, only because I'm pumping so much moisture into the air. Some people might ask, hey, why don't you get a humidifier? You know what? That's what I was thinking too. Just get a humidifier and it'll pull the water out of the air. You might even be able to close loop it, pull the water out of the air, mix it with nutrients, and freaking feed it back to your plants. But here's the thing. I'm pumping so much moisture into the air that shit, man. It's gonna work from after talking to some different people that are experiencing the same thing. And when I mean experiencing the same thing, what I mean is that they're growing indoors without with swamp coolers. So the main issue is getting rid of all that moisture. And I've been consulting with some people. I've been checking around, seeing what people are doing. I had one guy, he literally saved me $1 bajillion, because what I was getting ready to do is to cut a couple holes in my ceiling and just pump that freaking, just exhaust it into the attic. But the problem with that is I'll be blowing mad moisture up there. And I will freaking create freaking mold and mildew in my attic. So what I actually went ahead and did is I took a piece of plywood excuse me, I took a piece of plywood, and with that plywood, I just put it up in my window. Now, because I was in such a hurry to fix my issue, I've got to pull that plywood back out of my window and coat it. Because here where I live, it fucking snows. And with that moisture in the air, I can guarantee you that plywood is going to swell up. So what I need to do is I need to frickin' not necessarily stain it, but I need to at least seal it so it's not raw wood. So that's what I'm going to end up doing here in the next week or so. Probably not today, but yeah. I hope you guys are looking forward to our garden updates on Thursdays. We're going to make those a regular thing. If you are in our Patreon, if you're a member of our Patreon, you'll get those garden updates first. Those garden updates will be posted to our Patreon first, probably that same day, and then Friday you'll get access to them on YouTube and some of our other social stuff. And it's just a bonus that I provide for the people that support us on Patreon. So, and the people that donate and help us out. But yeah, this hash patty, I got to tell you, I went ahead and I used some tips. I didn't fully press it into a temple ball or anything like that. Didn't do none of that shit. But I actually went ahead and took some tips from Frenchie Cannoli, and may he rest in peace, and freaking actually did a thing called microplaning. And what I did is once I thought my hash was dry, what I did is I basically ran it over a cheese grater and freaking kind of increased the surface area of it, and it allowed it to actually dry faster. And when I say dry, a lot of people smoke their hash before it's dry. You know what I'm saying? Only because if you let it get too dry, it turns to powder and blows away. But that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, take this opportunity to smoke them if you got them right about now. But back to what we were originally talking about. A charity that you would never, and I'm going to repeat, never give any money to. If you're out there, I don't care if you're on YouTube or Facebook or fucking what's the other thing? YouTube, Facebook, or oh man. Or Twitch. I'm sorry. Shout out to my Twitch people out there. I don't care which one you're on. The topic of discussion today is which charity, let me bring that up. Which charity, name a charity that you would never support. And I only mean monetarily. You know what I'm saying? I only mean monetarily. And the big deal with that is there's a lot of charities that have been shown over the years to, because I think for the United States, I'm in the United States. This is just the statistics for what I see. And I'm not even saying these are right. These are just some that I found on the internet from a random place. You know what I'm saying? Not really random, but they're saying most charities, on the average, they only end up doing charitable things with 10 to 25% of each dollar. So imagine, okay, let's say you give $100 to charity. Only 25 of that is actually going to go and perform some type of charitable thing. Why? Because that charity, even though they're nonprofit and they're 501c3 and this, that, and the other thing, that charity has expenses. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is they're going to spend $75. They're going to spend $75 to take $25 and help somebody. And unfortunately for me, that's not good math. It makes more sense to spend $25 to freaking give to help people with $75. Now don't get me wrong. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just a random dude on the internet. Okay? I make no freaking bones about being professional in anything except for fucking up. But what I can do is I can read. And what I can also do is add. So it seems to me like the administration of the $25, first of all, it costs 3 times as much as the good of. So let's put this in perspective. If you've got a nonprofit and they're spending $75 to give away $25, it seems to me like some shits, they're not. It seems to me like they're not being the most efficient with their money. I'm not saying that they can't help it. I'm not saying, because like I said, I don't know much about nonprofits, but more specifically, I'm going to talk to you about the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Okay. And what's crazy is I found out the other day that only about 10 cents of each dollar goes to help charitable organizations. Let me pull this up because I want to make sure that I am freaking quoting this. I am getting this right. Okay. I found out, and this is on Wikipedia. If you can trust Wikipedia, if you can trust anything, you know what I'm saying? According to and this is back in 2011 and 2012. Okay, because this I don't have technology to freaking make freaking inquiries into people's IRS records because I'm just a regular dude. I got to use regular dude stuff, so I had to go with Wikipedia. Susan G. Komen. Okay, let's see here. The CEO. The CEO. Okay. The CEO. Let's see what her name is. I just had it right there. Brinker. I guess that is freaking. Oh man, Susan G. Komen. They're paying these. Okay. If I was to run the Susan G. Komen Foundation back in 2011 to 2012, actually 2010, because this is based on our 2011 to 2012 IRS forms, I would have made $684,717. Now, I'm going to see. Oh man. Okay. We're going to go with what Charity Navigator is telling us. Charity Navigator, which is kind of like they kind of freaking gauge charitable organizations and kind of, they kind of freaking, they kind of tell them, they kind of let you know if they're freaking managing your money properly. Okay? Charity Navigator gives Susan G. Komen for the Cure a 3-star rating out of 4. Okay? The percent of its expenses spent on programs and services is 81%. Okay? 81%. And that's just now they're saying that they're only using 18%, something like that, to give, to administrate their shit. And that's pretty good. But I would, and they actually get a 3-star rating out of 4. So I can't really complain, but there's some charities out there. And I think, and the particular charity that we're talking about is Susan G. Komen. And the problem with that is they're using, at that particular account, 81% to give away. And here's the problem. over during the coronavirus, during this last year or so, donations have dropped substantially. Donations have dropped, but the salaries of the CEOs, the administrators, blah, 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 salaries is going up. But anyway, this is totally off topic. I just wanted to know what you guys think about charities that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm only singling in on Susan G. Komen for the cure simply because they make a lot of their records public. There's a lot of nonprofits, there's a lot of freaking 501c3s that are just scandalous about freaking how they're using money. Their CEOs, their administrators are making millions of dollars. Meanwhile, the output, the services and programs that they're doing are relatively non-existent. But anyway, I just want you to think about that. Freaking before you give to that foundation, before you give to that foundation, before you give to that nonprofit with a building and a lease, ask yourself, is there a way that I could directly help the people that I want to help without freaking going through all this rigmarole? Or for lack of a better term, is there a way that I can help the people or group that I want to help without getting taxed? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the IRS. I'm talking about people fucking getting in their pocket along the way. But really, that's what the Morning Wake and Bake is for. It's just me sharing my thoughts on different subjects and kind of freaking talking about what's going on. I thank all you guys for freaking stopping by. I hope that you'll go to our YouTube channel to check out more cannabis-related content, more focused content. This is just kind of a free forum where we can talk about things. It's kind of something that I like to do in the morning to freaking get going, have a cup of coffee with the people that support us, and just talk about things. But anyway, this has been Slizwack from Go Here Smoke This, and we will see you next time.